The Empire Forged in the Steppes. How the Mongols Changed Everything video. Description. From a lone outcast to the ruler of the largest contiguous land empire in history, the story of Genghis Khan and the Mongols is one of unparalleled conquests, brutal warfare, and surprising innovation. In this 10-minute epic journey, we'll uncover the secrets behind the Mongol war machine, explore their vast expansion across continents, and reveal how their empire forever altered the course of world history. Forget everything you thought you knew. This is the true story of the Mongol Empire. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more epic history. Timestamp 0:00. Imagine a world connected not by the internet, but by the hoofbeats of a million horses. An empire stretching from the shores of the Pacific to the heart of Europe, forged by a single, visionary leader. This wasn't science fiction. This was the Mongol Empire, and its story is more epic than any movie. How did a scattered collection of nomadic tribes, seemingly from nowhere, build the largest contiguous land empire the world has ever seen? The story begins with a boy named Timestamp. 1 o'clock, born into the harsh, unforgiving world of the 12th century Mongolian steppes, Temujin's early life was brutal. His father was poisoned, his family was cast out, and he was enslaved. But these hardships didn't break him, they forged him. Through sheer will, strategic genius, and an unmatched ability to inspire loyalty, Temujin united the warring Mongol tribes. In 1206, at a great assembly known as he was proclaimed the Great Khan, the universal ruler, Genghis Khan. This wasn't just a new title, it was the birth of a nation and the beginning of a storm that would reshape the world. Timestamp 2:15. So, what made the Mongol army so unstoppable? It wasn't just numbers. It was a revolution in warfare. Every Mongol man was a warrior, trained from childhood to ride and shoot with deadly precision. Their primary weapon was the composite bow, a marvel of engineering capable of piercing armor from hundreds of yards away. On the battlefield, their tactics were pure psychological warfare. They were masters of the feigned retreat, luring overconfident enemies into a perfectly laid trap, a deadly embrace known as the Tuluma. They would then encircle their foes, showering them with arrows from all directions. This, combined with their unmatched mobility and iron discipline, made them the most terrifying military force of their time. Timestamp 3:30. With a unified people and an unbeatable army, Genghis Khan looked beyond the steppes. The conquests began. First, the Xia and Jin dynasties in northern China fell. Then, the Mongol horde turned west, smashing through the massive Khwarezmian Empire in Central Asia. The sheer speed and scale were unprecedented. Cities that resisted were utterly destroyed, their populations put to the sword, a deliberate strategy of terror to encourage others to surrender without a fight. The names of cities like Samarkand and Bukhara became synonymous with Mongol devastation. Timestamp 4:30. After Genghis Khan's death in 1227, the expansion didn't stop. It accelerated under his sons and grandsons, like Gedai and Kublai. The empire fractured into different khanates, but continued to push its borders. The Golden Horde swept into Russia and Eastern Europe, reaching the gates of Vienna. The Elkhonai conquered Persia and the Middle East, sacking the legendary city of Baghdad in 1258 and ending the Islamic Golden Age. In the east, Kublai Khan completed the conquest of China, establishing the Yuan dynasty. At its peak, the Mongol Empire covered an incredible 24 million square kilometers, a fifth of the world's landmass. Timestamp 5:45. But what was life actually like within this vast empire? For the Mongols themselves, it remained a life tied to the steppes. They were pastoral nomads, their lives revolving around their herds of horses, sheep, and goats. They lived in portable, felt-covered tents called gers, or yurts, which could be packed up and moved in a matter of hours. Their diet consisted mainly of meat and dairy products, and their society was organized around a strict code of law established by Genghis Khan, known as the Yasa. This law promoted discipline, loyalty, and a surprising degree of religious tolerance within their own ranks. Timestamp 645 for the millions of conquered people. Life under Mongol rule was a paradox. They established a postal relay system called the Yang, which allowed messengers and merchants to travel with unprecedented speed and safety. For the first time in centuries, a merchant could travel from Venice to Beijing with a single passport, protected by Mongol law. This period of stability and trade became known as the Pax Mongolica, the Mongol Peace. Timestamp 800. This reconnection of East and West had world-altering consequences. Gunpowder, the compass, and printing technology, all refined in China, made their way to Europe, where they would fuel the Renaissance and the Age of Discovery. Marco Polo's famous journey was only possible because of the Pax Mongolica, but this exchange was a double-edged sword. The increased traffic along the trade routes also facilitated the spread of the deadliest pandemic in human history: the Black Death. The plague likely originated in Central Asia and traveled with Mongol armies and merchants, eventually reaching Europe and wiping out up to half of its population. Timestamp 9:15. So, what is the true legacy of the Mongols? They were not just barbaric destroyers. They were complex, sophisticated, and, in many ways, visionary. They shattered old empires and created a new global order. They fostered the greatest exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies the world had ever seen, directly paving the way for the modern era. But they also unleashed unimaginable destruction and disease. Their impact was a violent, chaotic, and transformative force of nature. They didn't just conquer the world, they connected it, broke it, and remade it in their image. Thank you for watching. If you want to explore more epic stories from history, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you next time.